Hi everybody, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks very much for joining us for our first video for Christmas Day 2018, and we're going to cover the outlook right up including Christmas Eve and Christmas Day itself. And of course it wouldn't be a New Zealand Christmas without a weather forecaster being worried about something offshore. But at this stage, Christmas Day may be pretty good, so we're going to run through all the details with you. But we actually start off by going back in time to last Friday. This is the electrical storm over Auckland, using a long exposure to really capture the lightning as well as the pretty lights on the bridge and Sky Tower. Thank you to Kyle Aiken who sent this one in, and also thanks Kyle for this photo that you also sent in. I think this is my favourite one because amongst all the lightning, you can just see a bolt of lightning right perfectly in the middle part of the harbour bridge dropping down. Not hitting the bridge, obviously in the distance, but still spectacular photo. And of course, Vector lights up the bridge. It looks really cool. They didn't light up the skies though. Okay, let's have a look now and see what is going on right now around the country. And we've got a couple of lows, a big one off to the northeast and the remnants of Cyclone Owen off to the northwest. That is weakening. This is likely to miss us, but the remnants left behind from this tropical system, plus other energy going on around Eastern Australia, may drift our way around Christmas Eve or Boxing Day. Yes, either side. And so that's why there's a little bit of uncertainty about what is exactly happening on Christmas Day. But we'll try and break it down for you. And before we do go further into time, just take a look at the winds here. Nor'westers, which means most of New Zealand is warmer than average at the moment. But there is the cooler southerly that is arriving. So Wednesday, you've got a cooler change arriving into the South Island. It may not be a direct southerly. It might be more of a localized easterly, but it is coming from the south, and you're about to get a 10 to 15 degree drop across some parts of the South Island with patchy rain in there. The low itself struggles to get into the North Island on Wednesday, but there might be a little bit of patchy rain or showers moving into that southwest corner. But look at the temperature drop, much cooler than average after the other day being much hotter than average by 8 degrees. Now you're 4 to 8 degrees below normal. Talk about Jekyll and Hyde, but that's Canterbury for you and Otago when you have a nor'wester giving way to a southerly at this time of the year. So that's what happens. Warmer than average though on the other side, warmer than average for a big chunk of the North Island, or your average. And I'm getting a lot of people, when the weather goes average, because we've had such a warm year and such a warm past few years, when you get a normal day, people tend to now tell me they feel cold. So that's a little concerning when that happens. Here's Thursday. The rain and showers move into the North Island. There's a little chance, low to moderate risk of a couple of thunderstorms around Waikato and Auckland, maybe a couple of other areas. It's not a repeat of last week at all. It's all sort of moving through, and that cooler southerly change does move into the North Island as well, although it barely affects the upper North Island. By Friday, we've got a lot of low pressure. Low number 1, low number 2, and there's sinking low pressure around New Zealand as well. So this is all low pressure, which means these showers could bubble up into the afternoons. We might get some thunder inland on Friday. Most of the places should be dry, but this is what is coming in for the weekend. Here is Saturday. In comes that low. We've got a burst of wind and rain pretty much for both islands on Saturday. Then we get to Sunday, you got leftovers, a little cooler with the showery sou'easters and showers on both islands, but there is the next high. So when we get you to Monday, which is of course Christmas Eve, around New Zealand, high pressure is growing, but now you get to see why the forecasters are a little sort of focused on two other areas. So while the high is building, and by the way, they're usually the dominant feature when they come in like this, but when you've got an area of low pressure to the north that's sitting sort of on top of highs, it could start to, spin, and you end up with a little area of rain that pushes down. That isn't in the forecast now, but it was yesterday. So that's why there's a lot of changeable forecasts. And further south, a bit of rain around Fiordland with windy nor'westers. Other than that, it actually doesn't look too bad. So here, let's go to Christmas Day. This is the GFS thinking, which is actually from America, very similar to the European thinking. The only difference is the Europeans have the low not there, but there. So either way, it's to the north, and both American and European models have the high over New Zealand, but look at the windy westerlies blowing up all the way to Wellington. That'll actually make for sunnier weather though for many areas, with rain around Fiordland, but dry in all the main centres at this stage. I've got to keep emphasising that. We're two small islands in the roaring 40s. Anything can happen. Everything, like the highs and the lows, dominate, the size-wise around our country. So Anything can happen, but at this stage, I think if I was a betting person, I'd be betting that the high pressure looks more likely to win. But we're going to have to wait for a couple more days to lock it all in. So stick with us at Weather Watch. We'll give you the next update coming on Wednesday.